Brr, it's cold. Let's draw a penguin.
It's art time with Mr. Mayberry. Let's get busy.
Welcome to Art Time with Mr. Mayberry. Today I'm going to show you how to draw a penguin. So let's get started. It's time to draw. Today I'm going to show you how to draw a penguin, and more specifically we're going to draw a baby penguin. I'm starting off with my paper vertical, just using a regular pencil to draw. And I'm going to start off with a shape for the head, which is an oval, kind of turned sideways. And then the body, which is a little bit bigger, not kind of a teardrop shape, something like this. So start with those two shapes, kind of sketch them out. They'll change just a little bit as we go, so you might want to draw lightly. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is to do the wings. And the baby penguins look more like they're covered with fuzz than feathers when they're little bitty. So I'm going to draw a little wing out here, kind of a rounded point here at the end, and curve like this. I'm going to sketch everything out, and then we'll go back and make it look like they're covered in fur. The other wing is going to come out the other direction. Just something like this. And try to get them about the same size. If they're a little bit off, that's okay. But try to get them pretty close to the same size. So whether that might mean adjusting one side or the other. Okay, and then I'm going to draw kind of a basic shape down here for where the feet are going to be, and then we're going to go back and do more detail in just a minute. I'm going to start with a curve like that and a shape like this, and we'll go back and work in that in greater detail. I just kind of wanted to sketch in where that's going to be. Okay, let's go back up to the face, and up here I want to start with a line that curves up on the side, and there's this dark band in the front of their face, so I want to curve it out instead of in, so more like this, right in the middle. And again, these two sides, we're trying to make those two equal but opposite. So it's like a mirror reflection. So you try to get those two curves just opposite from each other, and the same with these two right here. Okay, the beak right here in the middle. Almost like a pointed triangle. Well, I mean a rounded triangle. Triangles have points. It's more rounded at the top, though, like a rounded triangle. And then the base, I'm going to make the middle of the beak, but make it look kind of like the bird is smiling. So I'm going to curve it down like a smile, and then on past the end on either side. It goes past the end. And then the underside of the beak, we'll start a little bit past the top side and curve down, and then back up to the other side. Just like that. You can make adjustments as you go. Just draw it till it looks right to you, till you're satisfied with the way it looks. Okay, I'm going to put ovals for the eyes. One here and one over here. Okay, and then I'm going to make this curve go down just a little bit longer on each side, down almost to even with the top corners of the mouth, almost that far. And then I'm going to draw a line out like cheeks on either side. So I'm going to curve out like that. And then this is going to go down along the bottom part of the face just a little ways. And then we're going to make a chin, kind of almost like a double chin, that comes down below here in the middle. It goes back up on either end. And then I can connect the side lines to that. Okay, I'm going to go back in and draw the outside edge of the face up here. And this is where I'm going to make it look like it's fuzzy or furry. If this line here that we sketched out at the beginning, if that's done lightly, then you can go on top of that. If not, if it's a little bit darker, you might have to erase this so you can just kind of barely see it. And then I'm going to go on top of it with lines. I'm going to put a couple longer ones here in the middle, almost like hairs on top of the head. And then I'm going to draw, now you can either draw individual lines or kind of a zigzaggy line around the outline here. If you do it kind of zigzaggy, it'll make it look fuzzy and it goes a little quicker. You can still do the same thing. I can try it on this side maybe with the short lines so you can see a different effect here maybe. Either way, the idea is we're changing the outside shape of the face to give it some texture, to make it look like it's fuzzy. Okay, so this side looks like the fur's all mussed up, and this side looks like it's combed a little bit, just a little bit smoother. But I don't know, either way will work. I'll comb this down just a little bit on this side. Okay, then I'm going to do the same kind of thing. I'm going to use the fuzzy line, the zigzag line, I kind of like that, on this inside part here. And down along here. Same over here. You might go the other direction on this side. So it's going in, just like that went in on this side. Okay, just like that. And around the cheek too. And then I can shade in the fur on this top part. This part is black. And the feathers down below on the body are kind of a light gray color, so we'll shade that a little bit, but not as much. And I'm not going to shade this a solid black. I'm just going to make it like dark, about like that. I'll make the beak darker though here in just a second. So I'm using the side of the pencil here to shade that in. Okay, and then we also shade under the chin here, but I think I'm going to go back and do the eyes and the beak next, just so I don't rub my hand across where I've already shaded. Okay, I want to put a highlight. I want to put it on the right side, so I'm going to leave an empty kind of oval space there on the right side of the eye. Do that on both eyes, and that gives some life to your eyes, makes it look a little shiny, a little more alive. Okay, I'm going to darken the outline of the beak, just a nice sharp dark line, and then I want to shade in the beak as well. I'm going to make it a little bit darker than the fur up here, but it's still not going to be a solid black. It's just going to be a really dark gray. Because I want to see these outlines, and I'm afraid if I make it too dark, I won't be able to see the outline still. Okay, one last thing on the upper part is I'm going to shade under the chin here about the same as what I have up here above. The same value, the same color. Alright, so there's the face. Now let's do the wings next. I'm going to change the lines. Again, if it's done lightly here, you won't have to erase. But if it's too dark, if your feathers are too dark to start with, you might have to go back and erase just a little bit so you don't see the original line. You'll just see kind of a zigzag. We want kind of a feathery line, even though this, like I said, is fuzzy. And I'm going to go up here about this far into the arm. The top part, or wing, I guess. The top part here I'm going to erase where it connects to the body. I can go ahead and do that on this side too. And then just kind of scratchy line, zigzag line along this edge. And keep it light. Keep it still light, even though as an outline you want to see it. We still want it a little bit lighter because this part is lighter in color. It's a lighter gray. Okay, I'm going to continue around the body, just kind of the feathery line, the zigzag fuzzy line. Just like that around to the feet. Now the way I want to do the feet is I'm going to make the claws, or more like toes here. I'm going to curve this around, and then I start up a little bit higher, curve down, and then go around like this. So we can see the individual toes here, individual claws. And one last one here. And each of these has a claw on the end, or almost like a toenail. And it's pointier. So it's a curve on top, and then like a curved V almost at the bottom. And those are really dark, so we're going to shade those in really dark. And then I'm going to redraw this edge here right like that. Make it darker, these lines darker. And this one here. Okay, now right above it, the skin of the body with the fur on it is kind of overlapping the feet, so they looks like they're just kind of peeking out. So I'm going to change this from a sharp curve to more of a fuzzy curve. Something like that. And this one, I think I'll do that before I do the rest of the feet, just so you can see how you can do this first as well. So I'm going to go right here and just kind of make a zigzaggy line, fuzzy line above where that line was. I erased the line first and then replaced it with this. Okay, I'm erasing inside this section here where the original shape was. And then I'm going to redraw the feet, make a line down and then curve around. I come up a little ways and do it again. And then one last one. I come up a little ways and one last one right here. And each of these have the nails on them, the claws on them. So there's a curve to the right, and then a curve from the front down and a curve up in the back. This looks like really pretty sharp claws. You can soften those, make them a little more rounded if you don't want them to look like they're too sharp. And then I need to shade in both of the feet. Now this one, after I shaded it in, it's hard to see the lines between the toes, so I'm going to draw those darker on top. Just those two lines right there. And I'll do the same thing over here. I'm going to shade this in. Just like that. And darken those lines again on top. Okay, now let's do just a little bit of indication of fur on the body. Just a light kind of zigzaggy line, scratchy line going across, and you can do this in layers. It's not really white yet, it's just a grayish color. Okay, I'm going to draw a line back here. Horizon line. Everything above is the sky and everything below is the ground. If you want to add more details to your picture, you can. Go ahead and clean it up. And this is our project for today, a baby penguin.
For more cool things to draw, check out Draw Time with Mr. Mayberry Wintertime Edition. Well, thank you for coming to art class, and I'll see you next time.
See you later. Hi, bye.